Yo, how's it going, folks? So this chapter of One Piece. So the questions of whether or not Luffy is ready for Big Mom. Chapters like this kind of give you a little bit of a hint at and a little bit of an answer. In my opinion, absolutely not. At least not yet, because the way Luffy, well, I wouldn't say he was struggling, but the way Luffy got handled in this episode, in this chapter. Let's start from the beginning of the chapter. He does land in Congo, and as predictable, Cracker was still honest. Was still able to get back up. Luffy goes in again for a second attack. You have a clash. I think it's an arm and hockey clash with a pretzel roll and Congo. Luffy breaks that shit. He splits Cracker in half at least. What we thought was the real Cracker turns out to be nothing more than a shell made up by biscuit crumbs by the real body, which is it's kind of similar to Sasori, but in the same way, it's kind of like Gar from Naruto. So that's kind of cool. He fuses his, the way he described it is he infuses his haki with biscuit crumbs, which is similar to what Gar does with his chakra with sand. So I thought there's comparisons there. So that was kind of cool. It still is probably, I think, Cracker's defensive, at least his hockey defense, is probably one of the strongest we've ever seen, considering the fact that his shields were able to tank Gear 4 for so long. I mean, and not only that, when we saw the real body, the Thousand Arms Cracker pierce Luffy's arm when he's in Gear 4 with nothing but a sword, obviously covered in armor and hockey, but that was impressive considering the fact that Doflamingo wasn't able to do anything against. Well, when they had the clash at the finale, I think Doflamingo actually used his strings to like pierce some of Luffy's hand, but other than that, wasn't even close to what Cracker did. So that was kind of cool. And the reason it is because these are top tier commanders of a Yonko, so you would expect them to be as strong as they are. And the whole thing about now, the whole downside to Cracker is the fact that he revealed that he can't take pain for shit. If he gets hurt, he's fucked. Which I'm assuming is the only reason he's able to be as strong as he is because but that says a lot about his hockey. But at the same time, what does that do about his real body? Obviously, it's incredible hockey, but it's reminds me kind of like the Vince Mode technology. There may be it's impressive, yeah, but that doesn't do much for the physical abilities. And we've seen this before. Go back to where Blackbeard versus Ace, right? Pre-time skip, where Blackbeard or Ace uses Yami Yami no abilities to neutralize Ace's double threat ability. He connected with a blow, and you hear Blackbeard say, "Oh, it's been a while. I bet you don't know how even to take a punch." Well, the same could be said for Cracker, because even though his hockey's incredibly strong, the reason he's hit himself in that is to avoid the government, with obviously using the biscuit crumbs as a way of covering up his true identity. But also, if Luffy pierces through those biscuit shields, right, he's fucked because he can't take a hit from the real body cannot withstand a hit from Gear 4. So that may come down to a one-shot. It may come to, because by the end he's actually using a Gatling organ, which I think was sick as all hell. If you notice, he's using some of the I guess you can say the biscuit puppets to block some of the hits, but some of the shields are cracking, so they're gonna get blown to smithereens. There's one in the middle that's withstanding the hits, but obviously Luffy's in the air, so he's kind of vulnerable at this point. So Cracker uses I guess honey pretzel to counter attack, but Luffy dodges it with observation hockey, so that's kind of impressive. He's able to kind of use his neck in The Exorcist, dodge that shit. And the whole thing about that is that's where it cuts away, and that's probably the main problem with this chapter. This was a really good chapter, but that was my only downside, because we don't know what went down. It cuts and we go to Nami, who's pretty much using the Vivre card that Lola gave Nami to kind of control the homies, and she's obviously going to use them to get to Whole Cake Chateau, which Then we go to the mirror world, and I kind of like how Nami's acting like a boss, even though all she did was like, uh, what she did in the previous chapter was impressive. She knocked out Brule with the thundercloud tempo. So, but we know Brule's still out there because there's all infinite mirrors around Whole Cake Island. And speaking of which, we couldn't see Chopper and Carrot, and they're in the mirror world, and the whole design about that inside with the Alice in Wonderland theme, very like Oda like, very creative. I like the artistic work, especially when it came to like the spiral stairway and the mirrors on end. So that was kind of cool. Chopper's gonna. He says he's going to use this to try and use Brulee's abilities against her. I don't know how. They may use a mirror that's inside the Whole Cake Chateau, and storm rush the wedding, which it looks like a lot of people are going to join up at the wedding. There's going to be a gathering. The only problem now is we don't know what's happened with Luffy and Cracker, what happened with the fight. One thing's for sure, we know Gear 4 is about to time out because Luffy was wheezing all over the place, so that can either end one or two ways. Either Gear 4 timed out, was captured. I know people are problem with it, but this happened on Thriller Bark, which is similar to this arc as well. Or, because when we see, I guess the Jolly Roger on Big Mom's hat explained to Big Mom how it should be a problem because Cracker was sent by Big Mom to deal with the Straw Hats. But if you look at it, it's kind of a concern. So I don't know if Luffy actually won. We did get to see it, or we're gonna get to find that out because Oda's gonna leave that as a surprise. But for one thing's for sure, this chapter kind of displayed that Luffy, despite all that, is not ready for Big Mom. Like I said, at least not yet, in my opinion. And I know this is a popular theory. It's going to be even more popular now on 1 week break, which I guess Oda deserves. After this was a hell of a chapter, by the way. So, and then we come to the end. All the Vince Smokes are pretty much set for a reunion. All the Vince Smoke bros and the siblings are together at last. Sanji, I believe, senses Ichichi and Niji, and we finally get the reveals of which one's Ichichi and which one's Niji. So that's kind of cool. All the bros together. I'm guessing they're going to meet up with Sanji, maybe even tease him a little bit, because Sanji seems a little bit intimidated when I'm leaning to believe he sets there with observation hockey. So all the Vince Smokes are together. They're going to be at the Whole Cake Chateau, and then that's when the wedding's about to begin. Speaking of weddings, it looks like Shanks and his crew on the cover page went to a wedding. We don't know whose. Could have been. I doubt it was Shanks, although we never know. So that was kind of cool seeing Shanks post time skips, looking at Luffy's banner poster as well. There was some kind of desert, so because they had cactuses in the background, so I don't know where they were if there was a wedding. So that's kind of intriguing as well. I guess that's like the final 500 billion battle arc done with. So we're going to get a new cover story pretty soon. I'm assuming when we get back after a 1 week break. But the Vince Smokes all together again. I'm guessing we're due for a Sanji flashback. But what happened with Luffy and Cracker right now is on top of my mind. What the fuck's happened to Luffy? Did Gear 4 time out? Again, I don't think Luffy's ready for Big Mom. But like I said, I don't think Luffy's set to fight Big Mom alone. I think more than anything, if Luffy doesn't find a Gear 5th, this kind of confirms it's going to be a team effort. I don't know if Luffy's going to team up with Jinbei, because we don't know what happened to him either, or Luffy and Sanji are going to team up against Big Mom, and possibly the Vince Smokes. That'd be epic as hell. But right now, I just don't know. Right now, it doesn't seem good for Luffy. For the Straw Hats, they're going to meet together. Brook and Pedro on the way to Whole Cake Chateau as well. Which I did make up a theory that poneglyph, the rope poneglyph, is in Big Mom's clutches in Whole Cake Chateau. Turns out that was right on the money. I also said that maybe for plot purposes that was turned into jelly or some shit because it is red. So that'd be a plot twist. And on top of that, it is a plot device in this arc as well because they need that to move on for Raftel. So I don't know. in terms of plot twists, there was a lot of them. There was a lot of them answered. Uh, right now, Brooke and Pedro, I think they're using one of the Crackers biscuit shells to hide in, so they can infiltrate the Whole Cake Chateau. One thing about it is like the wedding's going to be in Whole Cake Chateau, so even if Luffy does break in, he's going to come face to face with Big Mom pretty fucking soon, unless he hasn't been captured already. So that's going to be epic. I still say Nami's going to do something to interrupt the wedding. It would make sense. It would be a nice throwback to Thriller Bark, I think. And speaking of which, I've been thinking about this a lot. If Luffy, you know how he's able to use the shadows in Thriller Bark to kind of like power himself up to Nightmare Luffy, do you think it's possible that Luffy might do the same? I know it sounds like it's crazy, but it is One Piece, so it is anything's possible. Do you think it's possible that he might actually do the same thing with the souls that the Big Mom controls? Maybe they're gonna offer the souls. I don't know, to power up Luffy in Gear 4, and that's how he can take on Big Mom. Because other than that, I don't see how Luffy can match up physically to Big Mom. Although I said, in terms of combat ability, I think abilities are what makes Big Mom threatening, not her fighting abilities. Because I don't think Big Mom's a fighting type. She can obviously tear shit up. She's OP as fuck, and that's her abilities, but not her fighting abilities. So I think if Luffy can fight her on equal terms, maybe it's a different story. But as of right now, I don't think no way in hell Luffy stands a chance unless there's a team effort. And I said there's a possibility even before Whole Cake Island began that Sanji could fight Big Mom herself. So that'd be interesting as well. Another thing this kind of confirms if Sanji is kind of like worried about the older brothers, because we find out I think Nichiji is the second. Ichichi and is like the first eldest or the eldest son, and Niji is the second oldest son, I think. So, but the thing is, Sanji is shaken from them. So, and I actually said there's a possibility they could be equal or higher. Their strength could be higher than Judge himself, which is a possibility now. Ray's used it there as well, so there's a whole Vince family reunion waiting to happen. I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm thinking we're just about ready for a Sanji flashback. That'd be epic. It is the year of Sanji after all. So hopefully we'll get that when we come back after a break. So a great chapter as always. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's it from me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Post your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Catch you guys for more One Piece.